Hi, and good morning to everyone again. Sorry about the tech issues on the last one. Thank you for joining us here with our interactive talk show. So please be sure that when I'm asking questions and everything like that, that you are commenting on the video. If you have any questions for any of us, please feel free to chime in down there on the comment section. We'll be sure to answer the questions. Joining me today are Mitra, Brandy, and Alicia. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it very much. And again, we are here at Alicia's place, Thinking Girls Boutique. By the way, perfect place to host your events, talk shows, that kind of thing. It's a great place to do that. Not with us this month is Lakeisha. She had a conflicting event going on today, so could not join us today, but she will be back with us next month. So, Lakeisha, we missed you. Okay, so it is Women's History Month, and what I thought would be really fun for us to kind of share this month are some of the women who we've looked up to and maybe had an impact on our lives. So that's what we're going to be sharing today. So my first question for you guys is, growing up, who were your role models? Were there any women that you looked up to and were like, I want to be like that? Mm-hmm. Anybody?
Yeah, for me growing up were my teachers and my bosses. I had a few bosses that I really looked up to, and they really guided me through my process, through my education, from my neighborhood to college to, to my married life. Like, I had mentors along the way. And so besides my mother, I mean, my mom is a beautiful mentor as well, but I think I was looking for somebody who can kind of guide me outside of the home.
Oh, absolutely.
And I had great teachers and great bosses that always did that for me.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
For me, I had two. Mine were Rosa Parks and Anne Frank, which is kind of funny. It's like, why those? But I think for them, they weren't really accepted by society. And in my own home growing up, I didn't feel ever accepted. So I really think that's why they stood out for me. But what's kind of interesting is when I was a kid, Rosa Parks, I think it was the first woman that I ever really heard about as far as standing up for her beliefs and her rights, and there's so much history to her that I just find incredible and amazing. And so I really thought it was cool that she just stood up for something, and I just really connected with her. And then I have one more kind of silly, but for some reason Dolly Parton. I don't know.
Not silly at all.
I love Dolly.
Oh my God,
I love Dolly Parton. They wanted to be like, so the other two I really admire, but Dolly Parton, I was like, I want to be like her.
Yeah.
She's a firecracker,
yeah. So I kind of have three, I guess. But yeah, those are mine.
I was gonna say, I grew up singing all her songs.
Yeah. Right. Well, I'm definitely the outlier in this group, because if I think about before high school, the only person that stands out for me is Bo Jackson, which is not a female, but I've thought a lot about this, staring at a wall, of course, pondering on why Bo Jackson was my role model. Other than, shoes, I have no reason why, he was the one that stood out. But I think, when you have like a crisis in your life, that pivotal moment, you kind of latch on the first duck that
comes across.
Comes across, and Bo Jackson in middle school was the duck that I was.
He was a good-looking duck too. Hey, it doesn't hurt.
And then you get encouraged with everyone because of the shoes, and so it made me really realize how little influence there was in making girls cool, or
right.
Some women leaders, or it's not until recently where there's a lot more of that. I think so.
Yeah, for me too. I think more recently I've kind of gravitated to certain figures.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but growing up I didn't really think about it that way until recently, that I start to follow their biographies and their memoirs. And
exactly.
Like, wow, I love them. So from those three, like from historical, were you gonna ask?
Well, I was gonna say, that was the question. Was that? I mean, like that was a nice transition, because I was gonna ask, like, so have who you are looking up to and trying to model yourself, has it changed over the years?
Oh,
So how so?
definitely, for sure. Well, I kind of tended to the people that I knew in my inner circles. And then when I went off to college, I started learning about other people that were outside of my little circle, out of my little life. So even recently, I started really getting into Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah.
Just because, she just seems like a little force to be reckoned with.
Right?
Amongst all those judges that seem so imposing, she comes out and she seems like the most imposing out of all of them.
Notorious RBG.
She's like Sharia.
Yeah.
she's lecturing them, and then so to me, I love that about her. Another person in fashion would be Coco Chanel, just because I love how she reinvented herself. She didn't have a family; she was an orphan, and she decided she made a decision that she was going to be
Make her own
someone.
possibilities.
And she made it happen.
I
So
love her story.
yeah, so those are two that I can think of right now that are like, wow, I always kind of admired that about them.
Yeah, absolutely. I know for me, like growing up, it was like you. It was people who were close to home. It was my mom. It was my grandma. It was my my friend's mom, because our two families were very close, and so it was them. And I remember looking at them like, I want to be like that. But definitely, like now, like you said, like looking more at like who I am now. Barbara Corcoran is one.
Yes.
I'm
Mine
like,
Yeah,
like,
the shark.
oh my God, I want to be her. Yeah.
The
love
shark,
her.
I like her.
Yes.
Yeah. So while I still really admire my Rosa Parks and Anne Frank growing up, I feel like I've kind of established myself as far as accepting myself, and so I really admire them for different reasons. Now, as far it's more like who I admire, like Coco Chanel. She came from kind of a hard knock life, like I kind of did, and she made something of herself with her brand, and so she's a good one. And really, women that I find in our networking community. I that's kind of really who I gravitate towards, because I kind of feed off of their energy like a sponge, and I absorb it, and so that's kind of who I'm creating my own tribe right now, and that's kind of what I'm doing and growing from that.
I just real quick want to say hi, Saul. Hi, how are you doing? Thanks for joining in. And by the way, this question is for you too. So, who are some of your role models that you had growing up?
Yeah. Tell us who you think was somebody that influenced you in your life. It's Women Empowerment Month, so definitely give us your feedback too. We want to hear from you guys.
But Mitra, what about you? Have you evolved from Bo Jackson?
I don't
Thank goodness I have.
I don't know who that is.
Because I don't even know where he is now.
I was gonna say he was an athlete. All I remember is Bo Nose.
Yeah, because he played like baseball and football.
Yeah.
And did track
Really,
too, right?
honestly, it was nothing that inspired me about him. No offense, Bo. But it was simply the shoes. I mean,
And it was the Nike, wasn't it? He was for Nike
middle
and
school
George
is
or
all
something?
about street
All about the
credit
Right?
and how you can fit in, and that's how I fit in. It wasn't until high school when I started becoming more of a community activist, and I wanted change. I wanted to switch from that barbaric high school life. I would see people like just. I felt like I was more mature than my age group, because I think I went through the barbarian phases in my middle school. But, once I got to high school, the two women that really stood out for me was Princess Diana
Yes.
and Mother Teresa. And both of those really gave me the option of how I want to make change in the world. Princess Diana had the prestige with her humanitarian efforts,
Right.
And Mother Teresa, I mean, she had that unconditional love that was just so foreign to me, and she had, she made change in the world with altruism. So it wasn't really until, I would say, partly in college where what was galvanizing for me was September 11.
Yeah.
After September 11, I was like, wow, I don't know if I can make that change globally. I don't know if I have that capacity to, I didn't have the grace of Princess Diana for sure. And I don't, I don't know if I have the altruism of Mother Teresa.
Right.
So in the recent past years, I think Shirin Ebadi has really stood out for me. She was the very first judge in Iran. She was the very first Nobel laureate in Iran, very first woman Nobel Prize winner, and I think very first Muslim woman Nobel Prize winner. And the kind of work that she does with grace and with some kind of stability, at least, from this angle, I mean, I don't know her personal life, but so that's kind of like where I'm striving. I'm trying to get equanimity, but also trying to make a shift in the world. So
Absolutely. And like Lady Di, I think has to be the first woman that I knew, because she's on my list, was the first one who like pushed back against the rules, and especially like with her, she pushed back against essentially the royal family and everything
in
like
such
that.
a monolithic environment where there is no pushing back. That's it. That's all you have. It's interesting, and I want to ask the viewers this: that everyone says that they always, well, in past generation, everyone remembers the day, the moment, the time when
Oh, yeah.
When
they
Diana died.
when no, when Kennedy died.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, I remember Diana.
So
Exactly,
yeah,
yeah.
and I feel
Yeah.
like Diana was like that for us.
Yes.
I mean, is that does
Yeah, I
everybody?
wonder if
Yeah.
everybody
do y'all
remembers those
remember
days.
exactly
yeah.
the
I
point
remember
when you
the
found
day.
out?
I remember where I
Yeah, me
was.
too.
Oh,
listening
yeah.
to it on the radio. Yeah.
Me too. I'm getting goosebumps just like thinking about
It's like
it again.
Selena for my community.
Selena
You
too,
remember
right,
exactly the
right.
day Selena died.
Right, right.
You know, and the thing about Selena was that she made it okay for women to have curves, for women
Right.
to be,
yeah.
you know, sensual beings. You know, because I think sometimes we try to bring women down.
Right,
Or
right.
don't look too like this. Don't be
Right,
that. You know,
right,
and she
right.
was like, no, I'm going to
She
be
was-
me,
yeah,
and I'm going to let it
exactly.
go. That's it. And people
Yeah.
started accepting that, which kind of
Absolutely.
gave Jennifer Lopez like a nice opening for herself
Right,
because
Absolutely.
of Selena.
Right.
Well, yeah, and then okay, so who's the actress? She's on This Is Us. She plays the sister. Bigger. So I was going to say she was just in. I think she was in Harper's Bazaar. So talking about accepting your curves and that kind of thing.
Oh, right.
She just recently did a cover and things like that with Harper's Bazaar, and people were kind of bad mouthing her and everything like that because she wore like she wore a dress and it had like it was like the thin strap kind of thing or whatever, and so of course she's got cleavage. I mean, she's a big busty lady or whatever, and so people were like, giving her a hard time about doing that. It's like, well, what did you expect? I'm like, she's like, either that, I'm like, I'm supposed to wear a muumuu or something like that. I'm like, that's ridiculous. It's Harper's Bazaar. And so I just think
Yeah.
that, again, seeing women who are doing that, it does.
But just that we have to like keep each other in check. Why?
Yeah.
Why do I have
Exactly.
to tell you how you should be and how you should dress?
Exactly.
I don't like
Well,
that.
starts with the dress code in schools.
Oh wow. Yeah. that's a good
I
point.
mean, you think about dress codes in
That's
schools,
a good
they are
point.
definitely all about the way that the girl dresses almost. I mean, granted, there are some things for boys, like the saggy pants and that kind of stuff, but the majority of
Yeah.
the rules are about the way that
Skirt.
girls
How,
dress.
how high the skirt is, yeah.
How low cut, how you have this, how you have that. By the way, hi Tara. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, Tara
it was
Selena.
Yay!
Yay!
Woohoo!
Oh, see,
Dawn says I'm
she
too
was-
young. Don't worry, Dawn. You're not missing out on Bo Jackson.
I don't know. I still think Bo Jackson was kind of a cool guy, that kind of thing. So some other questions that I had too was, who are some women, again, like we were talking about, like Selena and Jennifer Lopez, some other women who maybe weren't necessarily like you were trying to model yourself after, but you were like, she's a badass.
Oh, Ann Richards for me.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
see, I didn't really know her because I was so young, but when I started to research about her and starting to go into her story, how she stood up to the Texas legend was like unbelievable. Such a tiny little woman again goes back to the tiny little
Yeah.
woman like Ruth, that just stood up for what she believed in, and she made them so nervous they didn't want to shake her hand. I was like, "Oh, you go!"
Nice.
Wow.
Just the way she was,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how she put people in check. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I need to know everything about her." So I just became really consumed by Ann Richards.
That's somebody who probably would have been called bossy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Other words, Bossy was the nice one. She
Yeah.
was called.
Nice
yeah.
version.
Mine is still Rosa Parks, because even though back in the day I felt like I connected with her because she was not accepted by society, however now I'm very involved in community, and she was a hardcore activist. And in fact, I read a really cool fact about her recently, that when she was arrested, she was actually in the process of raising funds for a younger girl who was 15 who was arrested for the same cause.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
I
so
didn't know that.
I was
yeah.
gonna say she was actually arrested before Rosa Parks.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so she was activating for that young girl, helping her. So I think that's so cool. So I still connect with her on a big level for different reasons. Woohoo, go Rosa Parks. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a great person.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many right now because I'm so awakened to the possibilities of being influenced, being inspired, inspiring others, how I want to be in this world. Most recently, Krista Tippett. I mean, I just, I don't know her on a personal level, but I religiously listen to her podcast.
Tell
And
us who she is.
Yeah, I
real
was gonna
quick.
say I don't know. Who she is.
She is a podcaster, a journalist. She started her podcast on being, and it was after September 11 again. where she knew she needed to galvanize the society from being so polarized in their, religious views or whatever. So she basically started interviewing different scientists and theologians and try to, have these conversations on, these thoughts that nobody really wants to question.
Yeah.
So she actually got an award from President Obama on, and I think he said she has the gallant to ask questions that nobody else is willing to
That's awesome.
ask.
Nice.
So just her conversation, I mean, you don't have to, cure, the world of all the illnesses. You could just be simply doing a talk show, moderating a talk show, by creating these conversations and being able to, evoke some thought into people can really change and influence, inspire others.
Yeah, well, when you
Absolutely.
change your thoughts, you change your behavior, you change the way you see the world.
Exactly.
So we want to get people to be interactive too.
Absolutely. So again, it's telling us who are some women that either were your role models. Again, who's the person that you look at and say like, she's a badass. I want to be like her, or you just want to give her like a high five, like yes.
Yeah.
Like for me, Susan B. Anthony is another person that
that's
is
a
just
good
kind
one.
of like, is an icon of just really making sure that things are right, not just for herself, but for other women as well. So that and her and Katharine Hepburn. I mean, she's just like you talk about a spitfire.
Yeah.
That was somebody where I was just like, you know who Katharine Hepburn is.
Yeah.
Sorry, just like the look that she gave me. I was like, going,
No,
kidding.
I was thinking about her. Like, yeah.
I was gonna say it was interesting because as I was kind of doing my research for the show, I was like, it was kind of concerning for me because I was like, I'm like, you had the concern of like it was Bo Jackson, and for me, I was like, I don't know of any like big figures when I was younger growing up.
Katharine
that I-
Hepburn was much like Princess Diana without the, aristocratic kind
Right.
of feel. But is she related to Audrey Hepburn by any
They are
chance?
not
They're
related.
not related.
They're
Okay.
not related.
Okay, I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah, but no, she was somebody who I loved watching her old, like I grew up and I watched the black and white movies with her. Again, they were reruns, just an FYI, and not
Awesome.
She didn't watch it when they first came out.
exactly. They weren't the first run. I didn't go see it in the movie theater or anything like that. But then I remember Barbara Walters. I remember like I wanted to when I was getting ready for college. I was like, I want to be the next Barbara Walters.
Yeah.
So she was somebody too, like who was asking all the tough questions and
Yeah.
things like that.
Hillary?
Hillary Duff and Emma Watson. She is awesome.
Well, now
Love.
she's really big with the movie. Then she just
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yes,
right?
which is
Absolutely.
funny. I was just about to ask, what about Disney growing up? We sometimes
Oh my
use
gosh.
them as
the Disney roles.
Yeah, which is kind of not that great. But as you get older, you look at it, you're like, huh. So did any of y'all have like Disney role models before you knew of others?
No, because I mean, like I remember.
I never
remember
wanted
going
to be a
and seeing-
mermaid.
Yeah,
I never wanted to be a mermaid.
I
so don't
loved
know.
Cinderella, which I guess makes sense. But I loved Cinderella.
See Snow White. Like growing
Yeah,
up,
but
Snow
you know what?
White.
That makes more sense because she was like,
Yeah.
she was a badass. yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, I don't think Cinderella's that.
What are you talking about? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, she went after what she wanted.
Oh, for me, it was like finding Prince Charming.
Oh.
I don't believe Prince Charming anymore.
But I mean, that's something that's taught to little girls.
Exactly.
I mean, that is
So at the
something
time, it does make sense.
It
yeah.
makes total sense.
Yeah, Snow White's a good one. Yeah, you didn't have one? No, I think Milan's cool.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like maybe I just being an immigrant, like maybe my focus.
We didn't grow up with
my
Disney.
focus
Yeah.
wasn't let's sit and enjoy Saturday cartoons. It was
good.
more dire situations. you
Yeah.
know,
Gosh.
like-
Yeah.
That's great.
So
Yeah.
I think it was almost really too fantasy for me because everything around me did not show that Prince Charming, that
Right.
those prom gowns. I didn't even have that for prom.
Wow.
So I mean, it was my choice, but
Right.
still, like it was more realistic. So I've never really
never did
related
either.
to I've enjoyed,
I watched Disney
yeah.
until I was like a
cartoons,
teenager,
yeah.
or even in college. Maybe was when I watched
Yeah.
Disney for the first time.
For me, it was an escape.
Yeah.
Like it was an escape from my
Definitely.
Yeah,
reality.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, but I did have that subliminal thought, like, you know, everything I'm working hard for is to find the right man, and he's going to be my saving grace. I did have
Yeah.
both. I mean, it wasn't as visual as like the glass
Yeah.
slippers
Right.
kind
Yeah.
of thing, but yeah, that was something, you know, probably influenced.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tara says Felicia Rashad.
That's
She's
awesome.
another person.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I remember. So did you guys
Yeah.
watch her
I
growing
loved
up?
her. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first time
I liked
that
her.
I saw somebody that was an attorney that was a woman.
Oh,
Like
wow.
it was always growing up. It's like attorneys are men. You know,
Yeah.
and she was a mom
yeah.
And on
you
a
actually
show.
and a lawyer, which
Yeah.
back then I'm sure it was like either pick one or the other.
Right, right,
She
right.
was both.
Yeah.
She was both. So that's an interesting question, though. Then, were there things that, like, I found, and it's true for everybody, but it's the fact that you said that was so fantasy, that was just wasn't my world. That I'm wondering if there is a lot of that when we're growing up and what we're showing to kids. It doesn't represent them, so it just seems like it's so far off and so far away, that kind of thing. You know, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, you know, for a young girl today, is that something that she sees as being a possibility, or is it because she's so far removed? She's somebody who is, you know, in the Supreme
At a
Court.
different level.
Exactly, an entirely different level. So does it seem like it's out of reach then?
Right. I think that's
It
why they
might
choose
be.
like pop stars and
Yeah,
Taylor
that's why
Swift
pop stars,
and-
reality stars
Yeah.
are so famous and so
Right,
popular
right.
because they
Yeah.
always kind of
Kinda like a media-
aspire
yeah.
to become that. And those
Yeah.
are regular people that have
Right.
a lot of money, a lot of influence.
Right.
The reality is that cartoons are drawn and created by adults.
Right.
I mean, and that's actually an idea. Why don't we get an incubator of kids coming up with cartoon ideas? You know, because
that's awesome.
yeah, because some of these cartoons have like little adult innuendos.
No,
and
there's
I'm like,
a lot of
Well,
those.
they're-
Oh my god, the whole Shrek series
yeah.
is a
But
lot of
I
adults.
think they do that on purpose,
purpose,
though,
yeah.
because
okay.
parents
They
are
want
going to
adults to
see
come, yeah.
exactly to bring their kids, and so there has
got
to be
it.
something for the
For
adults
both,
in there.
right,
Otherwise,
right.
you're going to sit in there and stab your eye out.
Or you
that
can
a
take
kid
your
really
Kindle like me and I'll just be reading while they're watching their movie.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
You
Okay,
cope.
I get it.
You learn to cope.
But it was, I mean, there were a lot of things that, like, now when I look back and I watch the cartoons, it's like, hey, but I realize I
Right.
know that I didn't get it when I was little,
Right,
but now
right.
it's like, now I get why my mom was laughing.
Right.
Do we have any more comments? Anything else coming through that we can answer? We would love to have more. Oh yeah, they said they have to entertain the parents too. That's exactly what.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. That's true.
I'm so glad you can read that, because without my glasses,
Yeah, he
that's
said
all a
that's
blurry mess.
Jonathan Zapata says they have to entertain the parents too.
Absolutely.
yeah.
But I do like that idea of having kids come up with some cartoons. And that
I
kind
would
of
like
thing.
to see what they come up
Yeah,
with. I mean,
right?
that would be interesting.
Gives
know.
you some insight into a whole new world, I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
None of it might make sense to us. But and thank you, Jonathan, for joining in.
Yeah,
with
thank
us.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're a trendsetter, Jonathan.
Well, while we're waiting to see if anybody else wants to tell us about some of their role models, that kind of thing, I do want to let everybody know about some of the really cool events that we've got going on, because believe it or not, we are some ladies who've got some stuff going on besides this talk show. So, for example, Mitra, do you want to tell us about, you're going to be at the Health Fest this Saturday, right?
Yes, this is going to be an amazing event. It's combining innovation with health, fitness, wellness, all that Houston really, really needs. We are amongst the unhealthiest city in the nation, which is tragic because we have one of the best medical centers, and I could understand why now. We have a lot of people to practice on. But if you're part of, the school of thought that, hey, my health can be in my own hands, please come to this event at Discovery Green this Saturday. It's free admission, but there's all these like different events that they have, and I'll be
Get
there.
Him like,
Yeah, I
aren't
have my
you
booth.
aren't you selling something?
Yeah, I'll have my 2 books. I have my own private label tea, and I will have these T-shirts. Porque no paz. Porque no pass. But this one's in Farsi, of course. And again, these shirts are kind of what I was talking about. Why not start the conversation? You know, there's a lot of things going on in politics right now. There's a lot of polarization with viewpoints. But let's just give it a chance. Let's give peace a chance. You know, but let's just talk about it. You know, you could be pro-war, pro-whatever, you know, but let's just give this conversation a chance. So if you want to represent these t-shirts and that philosophy of thought, please stop by, and I'll be selling those. And
Can they get them online from you?
you can't get it online. I don't have an e-commerce website.
Can they contact
but
you?
you can contact me.
Yeah.
Mitraship, MITRASHIP.com. Yes, you can contact me.
Yeah,
very
'cause I'm
cool.
getting one.
And Alicia, you've got something going on here on Friday.
So Friday we have a social media class, and that's going to be a lunch and learn in here in the boutique, because we find that a lot of people are always asking how to manage social media. That seems to be a big topic for people, especially for business. Like, how do you do your own social media? So we're doing that class on Friday, and then on Saturday we have a paper making class, and then we're going to be doing our spring launch party coming up in April. And so Brandy's going to be launching her new spring.
So I went to Ireland recently, and I decided to launch a spring collection because I just am so obsessed with the culture there. So I didn't call it Irish Spring.
That would have been so perfect.
It would have been so cleansing.
So I have a tea party collection because I'm fascinated with the culture there. And tea time.
nice.
We have a
Yes.
tea party collection, and then we have spring fling. In case there's a naughty side of you. So really fun colors. Pastels are huge, so we'll teach you how to wear these colors without them wearing you. Also, stay tuned. We did 3 segments here that'll be on the news, and you'll find some of those tips on there as well. But come in here and we'll teach you firsthand.
And your launch party is on the 14th.
April 14th.
April
Yeah,
14th.
I was just checking. Yeah,
Excellent.
April 14th. It's going to be from noon to 6. It's a full day event. So come in. We'll have mimosas. We'll have snacks. We will have cupcakes. We always do really good, yummy
We're
food
really
here.
going full force lately
Yeah.
in events here, so that's really our key. So we love to do charity happy hours here with my brand as well, where a percentage goes back to a cause of your choice. Our personal cause is the Pink Giraffe House, if you want to go that route.
great.
Yeah, which is a great cause. And so anyway, if you have a happy hour, you want to get together with some girlfriends, we'll set you up here.
Excellent. And then, speaking of having events here, I am doing my event on Sunday with Dr. Sorry, I'm getting all tongue-tied. With Dr. Carmen Landau. I was going to
She's
say,
great,
she is
yeah.
a cardiologist here, and we're going to be doing an event for girls, 7th through 12th grade, and the women in their lives. It's going to be a very inspirational, kind of motivational activity that we're doing. Tickets are $15. Covers entry for 2, a Nerdy Girl journal, as well as some nice snacks and goodies. So if we do not have anybody else who's chimed in, don't worry. If you're catching this on the replay, please feel free to ask questions, answer the questions that we've asked there in the comments. We are always checking it and responding to you guys. So thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, ladies, for being here with me. I appreciate it very much. Y'all have a great day. Thank you.
Bye.